in, put him on his back. Thurston, right foot kick, down the ground, into the in goal almost. Hodgson cuts it off. Hodgson taken by Norton. He took him late. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside. Richards pursued. He pushes Johnson away.
Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026. You're back for another episode of the Tiger Town podcast with your hosts, Zach and Toby. Zach at this end, Toby at the other, brought to you, as always, by Best On Ground Digital. Best On Ground Digital, the digital marketing agency that looks after the little guy. They will not steer you wrong. bestongrounddigital.com. Toby, I'm a little bit more chipper than what I should be given the situation.
Yeah,
or the series of situations. All the situations are just crumbling upon. We're fine, mate. We're sweet. Lots of good. How are you travelling?
Well, you are definitely the embodiment of that meme we posted earlier. I'll tell you that much. Me, I reckon I was disassociated. About 60th minute, I just started being on my phone. I was just detached. Yeah. I was like, nah, not even going to bother giving them my energy. It's funny, like, in some ways, I kind of prefer losing that way because then I do become detached and I just don't care. Whereas when we lose, when it's tight games and it's because of just stupid little mistakes or bad calls or something like that, I hold on to it and I feel it, whereas I've completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, and I think the fact that there's so many extenuating circumstances around it that like don't legitimise a scoreline like that, but certainly do make it, not as bitter a pill to swallow. You'd have to go a long way to find a Tigers fan that wouldn't agree that the worst outcome out of that was no doubt the injuries that we'll talk a little bit later about.
Mm-hmm.
Catastrophic. Just a disastrous day out at Shark Park. Ocean Protect Stadium. Apologies. Mate, not a good day to be a Tigers fan, and it's been a mighty rough fortnight in that department, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a roller coaster, so to speak. We've had our downs, we've had our ups, and then we've had our downs again. So by that, potentially we're on the move for an up.
Certainly are, and here is the first one. Taylor and Terrell re-signing long-term package deal. That was announced post series of cardiac arrests across Leichhardt in the back street to Roselle there. But, mate, ambulances were in full whack. Defibs were on the go. Everybody was sweet. And lo and behold, the boys are around, mate, sticking around. Pulled a prank on a lot of us.
They did. I didn't see the prank prior to the re-signing, so I didn't obviously have a heart attack. So I think I was working, and then it popped up on my feed in terms of my emails because obviously members, we all got that email. I was like, you. Saw all of the pranks and all of the socials blow up because of what they did, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny. That's
just a couple of jokers, aren't they?
Just larrikins, eh? What a joker.
And if nothing else, again, that sort of harkens back to Benji and his approach. And like they've reiterated, being able to, actually actively encourage them to be themselves. And Terrell said it on his podcast a number of times that Benji almost encourages him to bring the cameras in and sort of show it from his perspective, which is, it's a big draw card, and it's only going to get more appealing to players, particularly, I think, of that newer generation. And Benji clearly has been able to bridge that divide pretty well.
Yeah, well, I think it does help that Benji himself was a he was a media personality before coming on the coaching ranks, and so he understands the benefits of it, and he understands the culture too of the Pacific nations and things like that, and they're very much larrikins and lighthearted and take everything everything's water for ducks back. So to have them sort of approach it like that. It just feels very natural as well.
So, mate, individually very different. We'll talk about what they bring. From Terrell's perspective, or from a club's perspective about him, I should say, what specifically has he brought, not just on but off the field?
I can't really think of much. Like, I think off the field, he's probably brought a bit of leadership for the younger guys. I mean, it is fair to say that the last 2 years have probably been some of Pole's best. And is that a coincidence that that's when Terrell joined the side? I wouldn't think so. I think that's probably definitely had an effect. And I think the fact that he brings somewhat of a professionalism to the side, being in the Rooster system for as long as he was, he probably learned a fair bit of that, but it just seems that's the type of bloke he is. You watch his older videos and things like that, and just for the fun of it, decides to run a marathon around his park. He was well aware that he probably put on a bit in the off season, and then within 6 weeks he had shedded it all off. Like, that's his dedication. Think about how many forwards have put weight on and just, I'll just play at this, or I'll take my time, or this. He's like, no, I fucked up. So I think that's what he brings as well. But to me, it's just like it's minor compared to what he brings on the field. What he brings on the field is why I was so excited for him to get to obviously extend for as long as he did. Especially this year. Like last year, we knew what he could do by mid-year. He just had the biggest motor in the club, which that title probably goes to Alex Twal now. And he just used to punch the minutes out, gave us that extra interchange that we needed, usually 150 metres plus every single game, tackled his heart out. And then this year he's evolved. Still tackles his heart out, still runs, still puts up the meters, but it's in a shorter period of time. And so he runs with impact. And yeah, that's a huge re-signing for us. As well as, I'm not sure if you're aware too, but they all seem to go off contract when Benji goes off contract. So, which is an interesting one. But yeah.
That gives them a finite window, doesn't it? And it's a nice extendable point too, 27 through to the end of 2030, I think, from memory. So, yeah. And before we get to the other one, we obviously have seen another big one very recently, and we'll talk about him shortly. But yeah, same time span. So, interesting point that you make. Mate, can't agree more about Terrell, but he's the glue around the middle. Well, I should say Twel's become that, I guess. But from a prop perspective, you know what you're going to get out of him. And I agree with you. I think he's just upped his intensity on both sides of the ball this year, and particularly in recent weeks. He's really gunning for that blue jumper, I think, and it's evident on the field. Didn't get the run of things on the weekend. I think AFB definitely got the best of him in that audition, but that was to the betterment of how the sides were going to. Terrell's that sort of rock that we depend upon a fair bit, and I dare say if we lose him, touch wood, at some point, we will at some point. Hopefully not for many, many years, but if we did, that forward pack would look a little lost, I think, straight away. There's no ready stand-up replacement that can do what he can do, not least of all 12, but staying at lock. So, yeah, he brings a real quality across the board, Terrell, on the field. And, mate, for me, the off-field stuff is culture. Like, that accessibility that he sort of brought in through Benji's blessing with all the vlog stuff that he does has really brought eyes to our football club, and I think it's really shone us in a positive light. And that's really helped to sort of spin a pretty cool narrative about the club, and that's only going to benefit them in the long term. And I think personally, I benefit the insight that they get through their podcast, but also just the behind-the-scenes videos. I think nowhere else was doing it, and definitely not to that degree, and he's just blown it out of the water on behalf of our club. So I think he's brought a fair bit in that regard. But, yeah, pretty awesome, mate. We'll jump into Tiny. again, you can get first crack on the field. He's a weapon, mate. What do you like about him?
I think for me, it's what I love about him is it's just something we've been missing for so many years. I would probably say that it's been an area we've been quite weak in since the days of Chrissy and Tim Simona, because Tim Simona in his heyday was a very good defender, and we know what we got with Chrissy, so we don't need to talk about that. But it's been something we've been missing for a very long time. He's strong. He's quick. Like when he scored that try on the weekend, like that acceleration to get to the line, you kind of forget how quick he is. But yeah, he's strong. He's quick. He's got this. He's really strong through the hips. If you've noticed him, the way that he bumps and runs, and that's there was a reason why they didn't. I don't think they scored a single try down our left side. And why would they want to when the right side was as good as it was? But he communicates. He's a really good communicator in defense. Like you watch him, and he points and he talks and he gets them going. It's very tight on that side.
I'll add to that too. Still a young man himself, but he's been really good for Luke's game, I think. On both sides of the football, particularly defensively, though.
I 100% agree. I think
Luke has looked really good coming back into the side, playing outside Taylor.
I was very judgmental of him the first few weeks, but it was more just because of that lack of cohesion clearly the lack of cohesion between him and Massey, and then also the fact that he's renowned for dropping at least one easy one across the line. But since coming back into the side and sitting on Taylor's side, he has just, for me, solidified that spot now. Like, it'd be very hard to usurp him.
It's interesting too because, I think when he signed with Perth, there was a high chance that he was seen as surplus to requirements, and I'm sure Tigers in good faith gave him the blessing to go and get a start in Perth. But you look back now and you think a bit of a sliding doors moment. Luke's just about first winger pick. After Tito. In terms of the next after Tito level, he's probably the best of the bunch at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't. Tino he's a freak, but he's got a lot of deficiencies he needs to work on. Whereas, Luke's he's come into a bit of a whole package sort of scenario. Like,
I think he's got a long way to go defensively, but I think he's definitely improving. But man, his output is just getting better and better. He's phenomenal. Like he's up there with the best output that we've seen out of players. I'm not going to go as far as yet, but the talk of him being in the mini mold from a few people. I've seen worse comparisons in the past. He does it a bit different, but yeah, he's exceptional, mate. Such a great young player.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just having a quick look. How many meters did he run for? Because he was always in the thick of it. He ran for 141 meters. So, considering how much we had no ball, and he ran for that much, it was bloody good effort.
All right. So, May Brothers, awesome, wrapped. Great timing by the club. They got it done. Coin, don't even need to discuss it or hope it's all measured out and whatnot. The Romy money will certainly go a long way to ensuring that that's not too much of a worry. Mate, we've got to move on to the next big one. The cream, the dream. He's here, mate. Dreamy. Long-term extension. Yeah, Willie Waney, take their offer up, blah, blah, Moses this, Moses that. Well, 4-year extension, it's done. Scuttlebutt around. We handed out a little bit more to get the deal done, but we got a little bit more longevity out of it. So locked in, mate, and things are looking good long term. If we're talking pieces of the puzzle, and I'll get back specifically to Buller in a sec, we've got Dewey in long term. so much bad luck with the injury on the weekend, but, fingers crossed, different sort. He'll get back, career best form.
Yep.
Twally long term, who we've seen is now an integral piece of our pack. You got Buller, you got the May boys locked in, and guess who's next on the hit list? Samuel Afinu. And
Absolutely.
He's got 12 weeks on the sidelines, which breaks my heart, but we'll get to, in which to rehab, but also figure out a contract extension. My bold prediction, by the way, is that Samuel will extend before he comes back.
Yeah, well, I think that, he doesn't have to focus on footy for the next 12 weeks. So we can, Mighty Mouse can get in his ear a little bit and, make sure that he's part of it.
That was the mother of all segues. Back to Jareen Buller. Mate, it's done. So it's locked in. What do you like about the re-signing?
I think the fact that apparently there's no get-out clauses. I think that's probably a good one. He's there and he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
There's none of that shit. Even though we know that contracts aren't worth their...
Reportedly, but...
Yeah, contracts aren't worth what the paper they're printed on. But I think for me, again, it just... I said this at the start of the year. I think Buller has improved every week. I think he has... I thought he was nowhere near his best the first 2-3 weeks. But I think recently he's starting to hit his straps, starting to find some form. He's still got some improvement to do. But I think now that that's been sorted, I think he can just focus on footy now and it's done. And then focus on improvement and focus on where, I guess, those deficiencies that we highlighted over the last few weeks.
I love the longevity of the deal because that shows a long term.
Even 2030?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I love it because it shows long-term commitment to development. And we know now that Jareen Buller is going to be in our system working towards our ends and our outcomes, and he's going to be able to develop year on year as he goes into a more and more complete footballer with a lot of understanding and clarity around not only who his coach is, who the majority of the makeup of the side is. I think that this type of stability that we are piecing together, just onto that for a sec, is going to be integral to success. Because the best sides forever have been the sides that have a core nucleus of gun players that work and they backfill around it. This is sort of what we're piecing together. We just need time in. And we know now with the longevity of Buller's contract that he's in. He's that piece. So that's awesome. Yep. That's exciting to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, and again, like I just said before, but like he's, everyone's sort of sign until 2030 because that's when Benji ends. Yeah. Well, just, again, Benji's got time on his side. I mean, that's 5 years away, 4 years away. So...
Remember, you can always extend players beyond as well. So, beyond the end of the contract, everyone's had it. Anyway, that's a long period of time. Like, you think back, I'm not going to do it here live now because it'll take me too long to sort of punch it into AI, but you think back 4 years ago, or 4.5 years ago, where were we? Where was the side? We're talking like, mid-21, basically.
We had
would look very, very, very different. Very Madge, yeah. So it's a long time in football, mate. So if we can get some sort of stability around that, it makes a big difference, and key players in key areas make a big difference. So I like every facet of it. Who else was on the market? What else were we looking at? The one minor concern I have is the likes of Battered and Logan Brooks both look exceptional, like both of them, for different reasons. And once again, as always, I'll defer to West Tigers faithful on everything, those boys, but they are exceptionally gifted young blokes underneath. I think that you can actually you can use Brooks at centre or wing. I think he's robust enough and strong enough to do that, so you can keep him in the system. Battered, I just don't know. So that's always, I guess, what the issue is when you recruit relatively well, but we'll see what happens and plays out with that. A lot of things can change in football, so We'll see where we go
at
there.
the same time too, how many times have we put all our eggs in a basket on a junior that just didn't pan out?
Yeah, exactly right. And I guess in a lot of ways too, I've got the big re-signing in Buller. We'll see how things play out, but all signs are promising. I think we are seeing a lot of development in him year on year, game on game.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs a clean run with injury. Our side just needs a clean run with injury, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Mate, the Sharks game will be relatively brief because no one wants to revisit it. We sort of all know what happens. Maybe we can put a little bit of unique context, contextual perspective on it. Who knows? 52-10. Bit of a rubbish of an afternoon for us, mate, in a number of areas, not least of all the injuries we'll talk about specifically in a sec. But, sum it up for me. Give me a sentence.
I don't know if I can give it a sentence. I was just, look, disappointed. Clearly, we talked about standards, or Benji's talked about standards. They just weren't adhered to. Thank God, too, that Benji has swung the axe, because if he talked about standards and some of those players were still in that side, I would have sat there going, well, that was all talk. I think
we get to have a bit of a fun with the Storm team list coming up a bit later, so I'll give you the floor there.
So, but yeah, again, I said it before, I just became detached. Just didn't care.
Yeah.
So,
look, if we go back to when Dewey slices through on what was a beautiful play, and they they walked it in, and if he doesn't dislocate his shoulder, that game goes anywhere. The one caveat I'll say to that, though, is we definitely were lacking through the middle. The intent wasn't there. Something was off. I don't know what percentage less it was, 10, 15%, but Sharks got a sniff and they just went ballistic on it.
Like even Twally just looked flat.
And
that was like, there was a few people that it just was not their best game, and
for a variety of reasons. And I'm not going to really hook. I'm not going to really put the hoof in anyone too hectic tonight. I kind of did that last week, but in terms of their performances, just more where I think the areas we specifically broke down in, because there were people playing with due respect, out of their regular league and trying to fill positions within our system. And I think there was just a few performances of our next man up, quote unquote, mentality that just were off. A couple more disappointing than others, given experience, as you alluded to earlier. But anyway.
Yeah, it was. There was a few people that were they never died trying. They never stopped trying. They never died wondering. But there was just a few that they looked uninterested, and that was the frustrating thing. Like Benji said in the press conference, I can take mistakes, I can take errors. It's going to happen. It does. It's when it's when those mistakes happen to not do everything in your power to rectify those mistakes. Is when it gets frustrating and not part of what I hoped we were building. So, but I think there's a pretty obvious name that comes to mind for that one, but he's definitely my sink if we go to
that. Shortly. I think there's some specific reasons why we sort of fell apart. I think we missed Appy in the middle. He's our tone setter, and we didn't have him, and it really showed. No knock on Tristan Hope. I think it's just, I think the style that we are playing in NRL is above his capacity. I think in certain systems, I hope he could do a good job in NRL level, and he's doing a job for us. But I think that high impact style, he doesn't have it. And I think we really lost a lot of containment in particular, and lost a lot of line speed as a line speed leader, big time. And that's where Luai was disappointing on the edge, where I don't think he led a whole great deal in that regard. But so I think we lost that. So we lost the containment issue, and we lost territory because of that. But then we had no punch out of the back end. Luke didn't get good ball or good service very often. They were marginally offside constantly. They umbrellaed in, so we couldn't swing it wide. And because Taruva was at fullback, he didn't have the capacity to have multiple carries, and then we couldn't get Taruva into Luke or Luke into Taruva, which is where we often build momentum. And then once again, Hopi, just being that level below Appy, didn't have the capacity to make use of what little momentum we would get. So off the back of that, they ended up containing us. And I think that's a big reason for the selection changes later, with Tito back on the wing. That and just general defensive structures. But off the back of that, we lost territory, and then the second half just became a debacle. So I thought we were actually handling what they had.
75% possession in the second half to them.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was a debacle, mate. At that point, it was gone though. Like when we cracked, not long after half time, and then Wilton got a couple. It all went downhill in a number of ways. Like I said, they got a sniff on that side, and errors just compounded everything off the back of it. That was the main issue, and we sort of allowed the Sharks to play their game against us.
Yeah,
we had players that were stepping into roles, and for probably the first time this year, failed at the roles. Unfortunately, that happens in all football teams all the time. We've fortunately had a lot of people step up and have great games when they've been called upon, but I think we had a few stinkers come out at the wrong time, and unfortunately, that can happen. Add injuries to that, add an awful error count, luck. Like it wasn't our night, mate.
No, there was quite a few bounces that went, the Sharks' way as well. And that's, again, we've had a couple of games recently too where the bounce has gone our way, and that never happens, ever. But this was a game where, for lack of a better term, it was the perfect storm.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't really need to. I don't need to say a whole lot more about it. We all sort of saw it. We've all given a post-mortem and sort of moved on. We're about to talk about the bigger impact out of that game. Anything else you want to add about it, though?
No, it's easy to forget. There are obviously some players that I'd like to highlight, but we'll do that with a lift and sink.
Yeah, in several months, mate, it'll be a distant memory, and hopefully we'll be still sitting all right.
Yeah.
All right, mate. We'll give you a lift and sink before we sail completely off that game, though. So why don't you go your sink first, and then we're going to go into an uplift, and we'll just keep sailing.
Yeah,
upwards.
We'll finish on a high. Hey, let's finish on a high.
Yeah.
So my sink is probably the obvious one, and I'm going to take it before you do because I'm done with him. Is Stafford Toa. I've said it at the back end of last year, said it at the start of this year. He's not first grade material at the moment, and I don't think he will be anymore. I think whatever injury he has completely shot his confidence. There is, he used to have such a strong fend. He doesn't even try to do that anymore. His attitude is completely off. The amount of times that he was walking back to the defensive line, he was walking to cover spaces. Yes, he ran for, what did he run for, like 85 metres or something? Yeah, 85 metres off 9 runs. That's probably just because he had to, didn't want to. It was, he's done in my books. And, it's sad because I had a lot of hopes for him at the start of last year. I thought last year he started off really well. Really well. He's had some really good moments, but unfortunately for me, bar injuries, and I mean a lot of injuries, I'd trial Logan Brooks at centre before I'd put him back in there. He should not. Yeah, he should. That's how bad I think he was. And because, don't get me wrong, he would defend better than Logan Brooks because it's not Logan Brooks' natural position, etc., etc., etc. It is attitude, 100% attitude. Logan Brooks. Again, I'm just using him as his example. That's
Probably.
just the example I'm using. But you could probably guarantee that
Oh, you're not
his
saying he's your first choice. You're not.
No,
Sorry.
no, I would that's how far down the pecking order Stafford Toller is. No, there's so many other people in front of Logan Brooks. I'm just saying that's how far down the pecking order he is now, in my eyes.
Yeah, I think Stafford needs to have a Gemmet Shimbasaki moment.
What, go to the Broncos? Yeah, do that.
No, I think he actually needs to go and play a year or so of Reggie's, and go one or two ways. They either find his feet and his love for the game again and get inspired and go hard after it, or think about
the next stage
where his head wants to be with it, because to me it's application, and I don't want to question that someone's still injured or not, or whatever the case is, but all you can see is output. It's application in contact. To your point, it's 1%ers getting back on side, positioning, and it's evident when you're hustling to do that and when you're not. It's an urgency that you talk about with Buller at times. I partially think on that it's more his style, but I get what your point is. But with Stafford, you hate to point it out, but it's evident that there's lots of little instances of it, and that's notwithstanding application in defence and the sticking to of structures, like some decision making. And granted, the inside him was not much better either, nor outside him. The whole side was a shambles. But that aside, he's basically the seasoned veteran of sorts in that edge. He's supposed to lead that edge. He's been back for a game or so now, several games if you count his New South Wales Cup comeback. So he's got some bit of football in his legs, and just the application wasn't there. I know across the board, it was like we looked a bit flat. You mentioned Twally looked a bit flat, a few others. His output was still sensational, but we did look a little bit down in energy. And
big 7 tackles.
He may have looked 10 times worse because they got all the traffic. But yeah, for me it was the application, and that's reflective of attitude, which is what you mentioned. I'm not going to question. Yeah. It's not my place to, but that's what I saw.
Well, kind of is your place to. I mean, if you really think about it, we're a fan. We watch, we would die for this club. We bleed for this club.
Paying members as well, I guess. So.
Paying members as well. So we get our opinion if we want, but anyway, you can, you said, you can tell the difference between somebody that has made an error but wants to make up for it to somebody that's made an error and doesn't care. You can. And perfect example of that was Joey Leilua.
I'm not saying so. Well, he's the exception that proves the rule. I think he pretty much said it himself. I'm not going to question whether or not someone cares. I can just question what I see in application and body language and whatnot. I'm probably not right. I don't know. I think whether it's confidence or whatnot, I really like Stafford Tower when he's fit and fire and he's full of confidence. I want him to be doing well because he's a weapon, and we could love to have a weapon on that right side, but he's just a shell of what we've seen him when he is at his best at the moment. And Benji needs. Not that he agrees with us, but we're in the same line of thinking based upon how the side's been sort of rolled out this week. So
yeah. Again, right, I said.
Sorry, you go.
No, I was going to say, just like I said before, very happy that Benji is living up by his word in terms of standards.
Yeah,
with the changes that he made. So
yeah, definitely. Mate, the injuries again, so they're stacking up. So Appy's still out suspended for another 2 games, which I think carries us into the bye.
We didn't do a lift.
We
didn't do a lift. Was there any lifts in the game? We did a sink.
Oh.
And you didn't do a sink.
Did I?
Or was your sink Stafford as well?
Well, you're right. You are right. We moved off the segment too quick. Too carried away with the Stafford discussion. I got really melancholy about it for a moment. Mate, mine was built off what I mentioned earlier with Hopey. I think he sort of counterproductive. My criticisms of Star is that I think Hopey puts in. I just think that there's certain elements to his game that we need out of our dummy half at the moment that he struggles to provide, and I think they're things that Appy has in spades, and it makes a massive difference to our side. I spoke about application in defence and specifically impact and contact. Wrestle too, to be honest, like our manipulation was off. We missed that in the ruck as well, and then Brayley had a field day. So, yeah, for me, it's a gentle sink, but it's just more. I need a little. For us to play our footy, I think we need a bit more out of our hooker. Hope he's probably the most complete hooker there, but Latu's more dynamic. Latu's not a natural hooker, so it's just we don't have a perfect solution for Appy at the moment, and I think that's causing big issues in the middle, more so than it might appear at first glance.
Yeah.
Lift.
Fair.
Time to lift someone to the moon.
I'm going to let you go lift first. You go lift first. You go lift.
You want me to go lift?
Yeah, I think that I always seem to take the best, so I'm going to leave it with you first.
Well, the criticism is often that it's the low-hanging fruit, but you often refute that, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's not the low-hanging fruit if it's true.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
It's still low-hanging fruit, but whatever.
Oops, sorry about that. I thought Luke was pretty good in limited efforts in terms of, just not having the footy, to be honest. So it's probably a split between he and Twally because Twally kept toiling hard.
Yeah, 62 tackles.
Yeah, insane. Once again. Missed 3, though, I think.
Missed 3, 1 ineffective.
That's a huge missed tackle count, Twally. What are you doing?
I know, right?
3 entire tackles. You know who else missed 3 whole tackles? Jock Madden, Hope, Stafford Toa, who only made 15.
Royce,
shout out to Tristan Hope. Hopey. He made 57 himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I gave you about 3 names there, but
that's all right. I'm going to give you 2.
It was tough. Okay, well there you go.
I'm going to go with yours, which is good. The boys that have re-signed, the May brothers.
Yeah, they were good, eh?
Yeah. Well, Terrell made 53 tackles, missed none, ran for 115 metres in a pack that was dominated.
Yeah.
Taylor made 15 tackles, missed none, ran for over 150 metres. So they led the way. The May brothers stood up and led the way. So, there's players that they do a contract re-signing, all this stuff, and they kind of rest on their laurels and, I'm secure for the next 4 years. These boys did not. No. They proved why we re-signed them. So.
Never in doubt. I think there's a lot of gratitude there from their perspective towards the club, and that's going to buy loyalty, and it's going to buy blood on the field, mate. I think we're going to get a lot out of those boys for a long time.
I think so.
More power to them. I love their story. I love what they bring on and off the field. I love the way they play their footy, play it hard and tough, and bloody May country.
And
good way to start May, mate, wasn't it? They did very well.
Absolutely. And also, reports are that there is a discussion with the third May brother as well.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be that speculation. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he lands. The only one I'm concerned about now is Semwella. Let's get Semi over the line long term, because I see a C on his name when Appy retires.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
I think that'll bring the best out of him, and I reckon he'll be remembered alongside Gareth Ellis as
just don't sign until 2030, please. Sign until 2032.
Tiger for life. Give him a 10-year contract.
I don't want 5 fucking gun players coming off in 2030.
Here's my bold call. Samuela Fainu is the Tigers franchise player. I reckon he's the best player at the club for his position.
Oh, that's never been in doubt.
Well, there's fair arguments for a lot of them, but there's my big call on him. That's how highly I think of him. I reckon, anyway, I've said this 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
Into the fucking injuries. Cursed club. Cursed football club. And look, it is what it is.
Every team has their injuries at the moment too.
But
So
I'd be lying if I said that I didn't reach for the Kleenex when I found out Sam Weller's broken his foot and is out for 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
That's outrageous, and I'm not okay with it. I'd like to put in a complaint. 15 years. We've had 2 months. We've had 2 months of
good footy.
Pull this on us. Hey, is this the footy karma that Blake Austin was talking about on that podcast for doing the Canberra Viking clap? Said, the footy gods won't like that. Are we cursed?
No.
We better not be.
The Sharks didn't. They want a premiership.
Hey, it's a bump in the road. You know what this is? You know what this is. You know what this is. This is Jerome Luai's moment.
Oh.
This is Jerome Luai's opportunity to win the fan base over by riding out the storm. 2-3 months of Tigers being spineless, hopeless, just wishing on a wing and a prayer. In comes fucking Batman, but that's tiny also. That's confusing. Who is he now? Fucking Goku or something?
Yeah, something like that. He always
does
He's a
superhero. Mate, Jerome Luai, you've signed for PNG. You've said that you're going to give your all. You're still all in. This is your chance, son. Look at the opportunity before you. Lead your football team. Look into the camera, Zach. Lead your football team, Romy, through this tumultuous period. Win us back over. We all love you anyway. All pretty forgave you within 48 hours, let's be honest. However, this is your moment, son. Get amongst it. Toby, what do you reckon?
Forgive him in 48 hours. Took me probably 5 or 6 days to forgive him, but yeah, okay.
No, I was much quicker. I felt better.
I hold on to things.
Shake it off, mate. You got to shake it off.
Mate, what? So there's Buller's out for another 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Appy's out for another 2 weeks.
Hang on, before we do that, Romy's moment. Agree, disagree?
Oh, he doesn't have another opportunity, so it has to be.
Red carpet's been rolled out, mate. Let's go.
So if he wants to be that man,
promised land.
If he wants to be that man, if he wants to be known as, because let's put it this way,
he does.
Romy's probably signed for PNG because he will be viewed as a god over there, and he'll get a god complex. If he has that and he wants that, now's your time to earn it. Nathan Cleary's had his moments, mate. You've always been in his shadow. So let's see if you can step out of it for once.
Romy's been excellent and has history doing this. He did it with Samoa. He did it for periods when Nathan was out quite admirably. In fact, it was one of Exhibit A for reasons to sign him to be big for us in the halves. That performance that he had over those number of weeks for Penrith. So he's shown he can do it. We need that out of him, and it's an opportunity. Mate, back to the injury. So you were rattling him off then. I'll throw that back to you. You said Remy, 6 weeks.
What? So Baller's got another 2 weeks left. Appy's got another 2 week suspension. But then Ben Tolte doesn't even get cited for a classic hip drop, which was great. There's a consistency for you.
Teflon coast.
Yeah. There was 2 obvious hip drops in that game, and I don't even know if there was penalties blown. I digress. And then we've got Massey's out for another 2 weeks. Dewey's out for 6.
That foot of his was a bit worse than I thought.
Yeah. 6 weeks for Dewey.
Mm-hmm.
12 weeks for Sam.
Similar to the Taylor May situation, mate. The Sam Weller one hurts, eh?
Oh, it hurts so much.
12 weeks, that's half a season. He was playing such good footy. And
he was owning every moment.
Yeah, he was, 100%. He's a big reason why we've been winning moments in games, which has been allowing us to capitalise on extra momentum constantly. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss him big time, and he is our game breaker in a lot of ways. Dewey, yes, but we've got one less now, so that's going to hurt us any way you slice it.
So what is it? So he's not back until round 20.
long way
I think
from
we have
home.
2 buys. I think we have 2 buys in that round. So
These weekly injuries as well, though, the projections are just projections. So they can be long, they can be short. They can be short. So it depends on the nature of the injury. Things like shoulders and things probably tend to not be because it's a stability issue, but it depends upon load-bearing parameters and stuff for retest for Sammy. So I'm hopeful that we can get earlier, but I don't know the extent of the injury, so just speculation at that point. I worry about all these shoulders because it's bad luck in a lot of ways.
yeah.
But I guess most shoulders are really unfortunate.
Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir here, mate. I've played
Yeah.
25 years of footy, did both my shoulders, not even playing footy.
That sweep they put on for Dewey's try where he hurt himself, that was beautiful.
Yep.
Absolutely sensational.
And the
Talk about your
fact that
all-time
he's a
sweep
bigger body
moment.
is a reason he could get through that.
I thought in that moment before I realised he'd hurt himself, I thought this is going to be a carver. We're having flake for dinner. Well, it's more like Jaws.
Yeah. Jaws for the revenge.
Mate, injury is going to hurt. I think we, in some ways, what can we cover well? I think we can cover Dewey in elements. I think Dewey's form, which means he's playing percentage points better than his baseline, a lot of percentage points better, we can't cover. His capacity to win moments that he's been doing brilliantly this year, we struggle to cover. But we do have cover in the halves. We've got a steady cover in Jock, which they've opted for. We've got a more dynamic option in Latu as well. We keep moving through the list there. Buller, we're going to see audition number 2 this week in Heath Mason. Struggling to cover Buller, mate. Struggling to cover Appy for mine too. Who are the most impactful? I've spoken my love of Sam. Or are they just all the case that they are all probably our top most important players?
Let's just say this. If Talon and Terrell go down, I will cry. Because then that's every one of our most impactful players done. So, there's Tito and Luke and all that out of the backfield, but just what the other two bring is just, yeah. But
right. Anyway, moving on. We'll get through it. We'll poke our heads out the other side. The Semi's the one we're really going to miss. But I think we poke our heads up in a month's time. We're going to start getting a few back, and hopefully Dewey can recapture form, and Appy will lock the middle up again in a few weeks. Fuller will make us look a bit better in attack. I'm just going to really miss Semi, so hopefully we can massage around our approaches on that edge and get through it. But we've banked a few wins. Mate, we'll just see how we go. Whatever will be, will be. I think it's probably time. Do you think it's time? Is it time?
I think it's time.
For Toby's Weekly Pathways Roundup.
Okay, so actually, what was that?
You like that intro, did you?
Always. So, unlike the first grade side, the Rezzies actually did a good job against the Newtown Jets. One actually exact opposite of the first grade. We actually it was 6-4 at halftime, but then we ran away with it in the second half. 28-4 by the end of it. Tries to Javon, Heath, Lanyon, Fainga, and Sakuru. Sakuru actually had a breakaway on the left, which is pretty good. Javon kicked 4 from 5. He, like I said before, he's just looking. He will be first grade ready by next year. Easy for my eyes.
He looks good.
He looks good. He looks strong.
I mentioned this to you pre-pod, and I'll just spit it out now. I don't know if long-term the plan is Latu to 7, and they're going to work him playing a bit more 7, and Javon in the 6 when eventually Luai goes, because he looks, you talk about creamy, he's a smooth mover, strong, deceptive.
He's light and creamy.
He's quick, he's got good footwork, big, rangy, I really like Javon Andrews as a prospect, mate. Like dead set. I think he's got first grade written all over him.
Yeah. Like that first try, like he was bumping off men and he was making it look easy. So good work of the boys. And then we move on to the youngins in Flegg. Again, another win, 26-18. Tries to actually double to Glassy.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry to interrupt you. Just on Javon Andrews quickly. I've got an interesting blend for you. He's a blend between Bryce Cartwright and Benji Marshall.
I don't see it. Yeah, I mean, physically.
Can you see that?
I said you don't mean physically, do you?
No, not necessarily. Just the way he moves and the way he carries himself. Anyway, sorry, that was thought was popping into my head. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, so I'll reiterate. The Flegg boys ended up downing the Sharks 26-18. A double to Glassy. It's a great name, by the way.
In his Flegg debut, too. Looks strong.
So he's in the centre, too. Is he a Harold Matts boy, is he?
Just come through SG Ball from memory. But again, you know our deferral on that.
Yeah, faithful boys. Go see Mr. McCord about that one. Jack Biles, Ryder Huth, and Bailey Smith. But yeah, Riley Oitman went to the wing again. It's interesting. I would have thought Oitman would have been playing fullback in the absence of Logan, but yeah, he's stuck to the wing. But yeah, well done to the boys.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, that's it for this week because there's only 2 games.
Beautiful. No, good results, mate. And there's a lot of juniors looking quite good, I should say. Righto, let's jump into having a look at this Storm game. And there's quite a few changes for a number of reasons. We'll get through as many of them as we can. We line up as follows. Here's a blast from the past. Heath Mason at fullback. Sania Taruva. Patrick Herbert comes in on the right. Taylor May on the left. Luke Lelalii, left wing. Jerome Luai, Jock Madden is the halfback. Terrell May and Pole are the props with Tristan Hope at hooker. Sione Fain replaces Samuela. Kaipi's Paul returns from a head knock. Thank Christ. Alex Twell at lock. Latu is the 14. Bunty for, we're all excited to see Bunty is the 15. Seyfarth, Hunt, Maverick Geyer makes his extended bench debut for the Tigers at 18, and Gerald Skelton, utility back at 19. Charlie Murray, Tony Sukkar, Javon Andrews, and unfortunately Jerome Hughes for the Storm, which is very, very West Tigers. Let's start from the top. Heath at fullback.
Back into his mind.
Heath at fullback. I'd forgotten all about Heath at fullback. He'd been playing centre for New South Wales Cup.
Yeah, I moved to fullback when Attard got injured 2 weeks ago. Did all right, ran for over 200 metres.
Yeah.
He's busy. It is a concern.
High ball primarily.
Yeah, that's my concern. I think we know his effort. You've said it a couple of times about Heath too. He's half a step from making a breakout game, having a breakout game. It's just everything he does just seems half a step behind. His effort's there. He's to me, he's the back version of Seyfarth. The effort's there, but it's just half a step slower than the best. So,
Mate, I texted this afternoon prior to the. I forgot Attard was out, and I called for Attard to come in. I 100% would have picked 100%. I don't think he's ready, but I think he's the next best prospect. I think they've basically just done the same thing, but Heath, who is effectively fourth drop, if you count Tito as having a run and not working for the dynamics of the side. I don't think Heath's there because he outplays Tito. I think he's there because of what we lost with Tito at fullback instead of on the wing with carries I mentioned earlier. We need that punch out of the backfield because we play territory football, and we can't play territory football if we've lost our punch. So I think Heath is just more there to be a bit of a bunny at the back. To your point, running big meters, trying to get in good position, try to play a little bit of shape when he can and be a little bit creative, but hopefully sniff a little bit around the ruck. I can see him working in that regard. And again, he's a bit older again, a bit more developed and played a bit more footy and a bit more battle-hardened. So I don't hate it for that reason.
No, look, worst options. There's worse options.
Patrick Herbert comes in for Stafford. You picked the fruit off the tree, but there were a lot of Stafford apples on that tree. I think there was a lot of, rightly so in my opinion, criticism came out for that performance. You got stuck into him fair enough earlier. So to his credit, like you said earlier, Marshall swung the axe and he's brought Patrick Herbert in. Unfortunately, last time Herbert, from memory, was dropped of sorts was for a bit of application. So at the moment, we're hoping that we see a little bit some better decisions, I should say, in his performance. What we do know with Paddy Herbert is he'll have a crack. Yeah. So at least we've got a bit of we won't lack for effort, should I say?
No, and I think did he play? Oh, he did play on Tito's side. Oh, yeah, but when he was on Tito's side, I thought he actually did all right. Didn't he switch to Massey's side at one point? Can't remember. Was it always been Tito's side?
I think he has played both, depending on who's been injured.
Yeah, and when he played that,
actually run like a simple back line for an extended period at all this year.
No.
I'd like to know who first choice is anymore. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea. But you mentioned it in the chat too. We're getting to a point where we just stick with Massey and just let him develop.
Yeah, I reckon. Once he's back from his foot and he's had his good sort of, okay, you've hit the big time, now have a break for a bit. I think he's primed for a big second half of the year and fingers crossed he comes back well. And I reckon, you put him and you stick him because he is first grade. So
more than most.
I think that side will look better anyway, for a couple of reasons. One, Jock will train there all week. Two, KPP's back on the right. And I think Herbert will have better application than what we saw out of Star. And Tito will defend better as well, make better decisions, probably hustle a little bit better. And there'll be a little bit less pressure, hopefully, than poor Tino copped on the weekend. So I think that we line up better in that regard. Will be interesting to see what we get out of Heath and how they're going to use him. I hope they have him just sniffing around the middle. I don't know if he has the capacity to run shape, but who knows? We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Keep on going down. We've got Jock at half. We know what we get out of him. We just need improved defence, I think. Probably not his best outing for the year.
No, I don't think so. But I think for me, with Jock, Jock plays his best when we have possession. Like he's not a game changer. He's not somebody that can put a big shot on or do this and do that. And we just had no possession. And so he just could not inject himself in the game. Put onto the fact that he does have his defensive deficiencies. Again, wasn't his best outing. But like Andrew John said it in the first half when we had defense, he's like, all you young halfbacks, watch how Jock Madden plays to the line and watch how he swings his body. Like that is how every half should attack the line. And I agree. I think the way that he does do that is one of his strengths with his kicking game. But
we've had all the combos now too. So we're gonna Jock and Luai, Dewey and Luai and Jock. Luai and Jock probably look the best thus far. So remains to be seen. But I think just training in that position, there's going to be some longevity around it. They can settle in hopefully for a month or so. And at this point, hopefully we don't see Luai get selected for New South Wales, which I don't know that's really thought at the minute.
I don't think he will.
So hopefully they can get those systems working a little bit better, and I think Appy will add to that when they come back.
Yep.
Tristan Hope, mate, I need 20% extra. And if there can be a plan to really bake his minutes out, I think the injuries hurt us for that. And we probably was a plan to take minutes off him, but he had to play it out because of how the game transpired. I think he needs to front load a bit more and give more for longer.
Yeah,
personally.
I don't think Jock was ever meant to come into that game.
You flame out, but
no, I agree. Like, I think that.
Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, just he takes the sting out of it because, like you said, he can hit and stick. Again, if he adds 20% more in terms of his intent and his aggression and things like that, then we're gonna like what we see from him. But for that to happen, like, and that's another thing too. Like, you mentioned about how Appy plays that style of football. Clearly, Appy has a fitness level like none we've ever seen because he also plays 80 minutes doing that. Hope doesn't get used to doing that. And so
for sure.
The fact that he had to, there was probably a good chance he put a little bit in reserve so he could make the full 80.
Yeah, I agree with you. And those are all part of sort of variables that you can't control too. Like probably planning for some interchange time, and then you get told we need big minutes, and you're like, oh shit, okay. Especially if you're front loaded. Okay. Sione's probably the big one there in for Sam Weller. I was thinking about it earlier, and I probably would have done the opposite. I would have run Safer to start with a plan to put Sione on and play out, even if it's just half a bout. I'd prefer to have Sione on an edge from an attacking standpoint, but I'd prefer to have Safarth on an edge from a defensive standpoint. So it's just when you want to do that in the game, I'd prefer to defend up early, and then throw Sione on late as I needed to rotate Safarth. But it might be a minutes thing. Not sure. I don't hate it.
Well, you definitely don't get like for like with the brothers, do you? No. So I think laterally, I'm concerned about Sione playing second row. We saw him do it a bit last year, and we definitely were exposed at times on that side. And I will say Sione actually didn't play all that well either on the weekend. He made some very silly mistakes, very costly errors.
Yeah.
And we talk about Sam
trying to get us out of trouble, but yeah.
Yeah. We talk about Sam owning those moments and, being those momentum swingers. Unfortunately for Sione. And this, again, I'm not putting a blight on the bloke because I think he's actually been quite good coming off the bench for us. I think he's added something. But, yeah, he probably sort of had the opposite of what Sam usually has. His moments were extremely costly. So,
yeah, and maybe that's a form thing. Maybe that's what form actually looks like, just winning more of your individual moments. I thought Sione's been really good this year too. I agree with you. But yeah, a couple of errors. I mean, he was just another one that I think drank from the poison chalice last week because something went wrong. But that's all right. He'll be better for it. I like what he brings. I'm a big fan of Sione, as you know, and I like to think he has a good game. Mate, I hope they all have
a good game, to be honest.
Guy Pearce-Paul on the right is going to make a big difference for us.
Yes.
That right's going to look instantly better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was... Yeah, Suka just did not have the same level that KPP does.
Tony struggled with the pace, I think.
Yeah.
Tony's been playing really well in New South Wales Cup, like consistently really good hard footy, like genuinely. And deserved his shot, but he just looked off the pace, and that's unfortunate.
That was a very clear difference.
Maybe he just had an off game, but he struggled there.
We did. Yeah.
No, he'll make a big difference. He's a good aggressor for us too, KP. He's one of the soldiers, and we get one back, so he'll make a big difference on that side.
Yeah,
mate, I'm deeply concerned about this football match. What's your prediction?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Storm are going to get a win. They're going to break their streak. I don't think we're going to win.
Scoreline.
I don't think it's going to be a shellacking. I think Hughes will control it, but there's something off with the Storm at the moment, and I can't pinpoint what because of the players they have. Is it an attitude thing? Are their heads somewhere else? I don't know. but they will win, but they won't win comfortably. I think it'll be something along the lines of 20-12.
Okay.
So,
bold prediction. Very noisy.
I haven't really even thought about that. What about you? You go first.
I'm actually really concerned. I got a big wave of concern wash over me a little while ago when thinking about the game running through the team lists. I think this is prime for them to get a bit of mojo back, and I don't buy that with the personnel out that we have out that the belief is there. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But we'll know in the first 5 minutes if the belief is there by the application. Then we'll know after the 15 minutes if they've been able to keep it up and if they're there to play. And if they're there to play, they'll give us every shot. But I'm concerned that's not going to be the case. I think Storm are going to have a field day. I think it's going to be like 42-10. I just got a feeling. So I hope I'm wrong. I just see too many deficiencies in who we're calling upon. I do like the changes and I want to be optimistic about it, but I just think that we're getting taught a couple of rugby league lessons at the moment. But with re-signings and form and the club growing all the time, I think it's short-term pain for long-term gain. I think this weekend's going to be rough. Pray I'm wrong, though. And I'm ready to be wrong. I've been wrong about most predictions so far this year about us. And I doubt us at my own peril. So I'll be watching hard. And I won't be surprised if we show up, to be honest. But all that being said, it's got a bad feeling. And sometimes you should trust your gut. Bold prediction, but Toby.
My bold prediction is actually Heath Mason's going to be very solid at the back. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to have one try assist, but also the big thing for me is I think he's going to be quite safe. So,
okay. My bold prediction is that we're going to. We're still going to look like we dominate the middle, but just going to fall to bits when it matters. So I think Terrell's going to be enormous. He's going to do 200 metres again and look untouchable. He's going to have a, hopefully, one hand on a extended squad Blues jersey by the end of the game. Outshine his compatriots, Stefano Utok-Ikamanu, who's been playing pretty good footy too, to a degree.
No, I wouldn't agree. I thought Steph's been playing bad.
Well, I said Pearl was being generous. He wasn't playing career best. They've been average, but he did some good things was it last week? The week before? Anyway.
I've seen him do not a lot of good things this year, and I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, fair enough. He's probably primed to have a big game against us. Fingers crossed that that's not the case, but you look at that side on paper, not so awful. Right, mate, that's about it. We should probably wrap up the show. Look, it's a rough time for us all with the injuries and whatnot. The side's shown...
Another somber podcast.
That's all right. The club has shown a lot of positive signs over the course of the season. We know where we're heading. We've got key positional players re-signed now. There's a lot of good happening at the moment. Like I said, short-term pain for long-term gain. Fingers crossed. Yep. Hopefully the boys can ride out the storm. It is Romy's moment in a lot of ways, and it's his chance to immediately pay back the Tigers fans who have shown a lot of faith in him to turn the club around, specifically on the field. Now's your chance, mate. Let's see it happen. And look, if the boys can manage to show up in lieu of missing so many key players, and we can fill those roles admirably, I'd give us every chance in most games once again. Let's see it happen.
Fuck, now you've made me nervous. Jesus, what's wrong with you?
What's that?
You've made me nervous now. I'm like, I didn't have that much, bad juju wash over me about this game, but now you've just swung it in the other direction.
No, just being realistic. We're going to ride out the storm. We're going to be fine. Mate, finals, baby. We're destined to get there. Do you disagree?
Do I disagree that we're going to get there? Nah, I think we're still going to get there. Yeah.
Easy. Easy money. We'll write it out. We'll be sweet. All West Tigers media is good media in our eyes. The West Tigers podcast, West Tigers TV, West Tigers Faithful, which are on West Tigers TV, Ambush on Facebook, westtigersforum.com. Best on Ground Digital, the digital marketing agency that looks after the little guy. They will not steer you wrong. Score in the corner with bestongrounddigital.com. They are our sponsor. They are awesome. Get into it. Thank you, Best on Ground Digital. So, mate, said it a few times already. We're riding out the storm. That's what we're doing. We're going to get through it. We've got a side there. We've got a side there ready to perform for us. So 2 p.m. Sunday.
Mother's Day. Still for the mothers.
Yeah, come on, Tigers. Do it for your mums. Nothing more to say.
Do it for your mums. Come on.
Go the mighty West Tigers.
Up the West Tigers.